Ferrari is returning to F1 because they love racing. It's like their favorite game, and they want to prove they're really good at it. They want to hear the loud car engines, win races, and show everyone they're super passionate about racing. Did you know that Ferrari made its debut in 1950? Ferrari is one of the oldest teams in F1. They've been racing in it since it first started back in 1950. During all those years, they had times when they were really good. They won lots of championships. They had some amazing drivers like Juan Manuel Fangio, Alberto Ascari, Niki Lauda, and Michael Schumacher. These drivers helped Ferrari win championships. It's a bit like having the best players in a soccer team. Ferrari's red cars are famous, and their prancing horse logo is known everywhere. They're like the cool kids of F1. People all over the world love to watch Ferrari races. F1 is a bit like a big puzzle. Sometimes Ferrari had all the right pieces, and they did great. But sometimes they struggled to put it all together. In 2019, there was a rule in F1 racing about how fast cars could use their fuel. This rule was made by the people who control the sport, called the FIA. They wanted to make sure that the teams followed the same rules. But some people thought Ferrari, one of the racing teams, found a clever way to use their fuel faster than others, and that gave them an advantage. It was like they found a secret way to go faster. So, the FIA told Ferrari and other teams that they needed to be very clear about how they used their fuel. This made people wonder if Ferrari was doing something they shouldn't. It led to debates and discussions. People were curious about how Ferrari was so fast. It showed how important rules and fairness are in sports like F1. In 2021, Ferrari worked hard during the winter to make their F1 car better. They added a new system to their car called the Energy Recovery System, or ERS, which is like a special power boost. This system helped the car go faster, especially when driving on long, straight parts of the racetrack. Imagine it like a turbo button in a video game that makes your car go super fast for a short time. That's what Ferrari did with their new ERS. They used it in races like Russia and Turkey, and it made a big difference. It gave their drivers more power to overtake others and speed down the straight roads. These improvements were a big deal for Ferrari because they had been struggling before. With the new ERS, their car became more competitive, and they were able to challenge other teams. It was like giving their car a special superpower, making the races even more exciting. The improvements Ferrari made to their F1 car helped them get closer to Mercedes, who had been really strong in recent years. Even though Ferrari's engine was not the absolute best, they were not as far behind as they used to be. This made Ferrari more competitive in races. You can think of it like a race between two friends. Before, one friend was always much faster, but with these changes, the other friend got a bit faster too. So now the race is more exciting because they're closer in speed. Ferrari's fans are happy because they can now compete better, and they hope to win more races in the future. It's like a game, and everyone is eager to see if Ferrari can become the fastest again. Ferrari, a famous team in F1, made their car's engine better. This helped them compete with other teams, and they wanted to finish third in the team championship. Their main rival for this is McLaren. Ferrari worked on their car's electrical system, or ERS, during the winter break. This made their car faster, especially on straight roads. They felt good about this and had hope for the 2023 season. Their goal is to do better than McLaren in the overall championship, which is like a big tournament where many races happen. Ferrari's ERS system gave them more confidence because it made their car faster. Now they're ready to race hard and try to reach that third place. It's like when you practice and get better at a game, and then you feel confident about playing it. Ferrari is all set to do their best in the races this year. In 2022, Ferrari had a big issue even though they made their car's engine better. This problem was all about reliability, which means how often the car stops working. Their two drivers, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, couldn't finish some races in the first part of the season. This was a big problem because they couldn't finish a race. They lost points, and that hurt their chances to win. Also, because they had to change some engine parts so many times, they got penalties. A penalty is like a punishment. It meant that they had to start some races further back on the grid, which is not a good place to start if you want to win. So even though the car's engine got better, the fact that it broke down and had problems hurt their chances of winning the championship. It's like having a fast bicycle, but it keeps getting flat tires, which makes it hard to ride and win races. In the 2023 F1 season, Ferrari made some improvements to their car's engine, which is like the heart of a car. This was good news because their engine was not as strong as some other teams, like Red Bull. But even with these improvements, Ferrari's car didn't seem as fast and competitive as it was in 2022. You see, in the world of F1, teams are always trying to make their cars faster and better. In 2022, Ferrari had a very quick car, but they had some problems with it breaking down. So they tried to make it more reliable and fix the engine for 2023. However, in the first races of 2023, Ferrari didn't perform as well as they had hoped. They were not as fast as teams like Red Bull and Aston Martin. This made people worried and raised questions about what went wrong, even though they had worked on their engine. It's a bit like having a fast car on a racetrack, but it's not performing as well as you expect it to. Ferrari is working hard to figure out what's happening and make their car faster so they can compete better in the races to come. Ferrari has had problems with making good race strategies in the past, but in the first races of 2023, they didn't have any big issues with their plans. However, there was one time where there was a mix-up during a safety car period. This mix-up caused them to lose positions in the race. A safety car comes out on the track when there's an accident or a dangerous situation. During this time, the cars have to follow the safety car and can't race each other. The teams need to decide when to bring their cars into the pits for fresh tires or other changes. For Ferrari, there was a misunderstanding between the team and their driver, Charles Leclerc. They didn't tell him when to push his car. As a result, he lost a place to another driver. This mistake was not a big issue, but it did affect their race. It showed that even top teams like Ferrari can sometimes have small problems with their strategies. Ferrari made big changes in their leadership. They said goodbye to their former leader, Mattia Binotto, who was team principal. Instead, they brought in a new leader, Frédéric Vasseur, who used to work with Alfa Romeo's racing team. These changes might have made some important people in the Ferrari team feel uneasy or unsure about their future. For example, one of their key figures, David Sanchez, left Ferrari and joined the McLaren team. This shows that changes at the top can have a domino effect, where one person's decision can lead to more people making changes too. There's also talk about another important person, Laurent Mekies, and what he might do next. Some wondered if he might leave Ferrari too. All of this can affect how the team works together and whether they can perform well in F1 races. Even though Ferrari faced a tough beginning in the 2023 season, they have many more races ahead, a total of 23. They're not giving up and are making small improvements to their car for the Australian Grand Prix. They'll also use the break before the Imola Grand Prix to keep working on getting better. It's like a long race with lots of chances to do well. And Ferrari is determined to improve their performance as they go along. They're not losing hope, and fans can look forward to better results in the upcoming races. In conclusion, Ferrari's return to F1 is fueled by its rich history and passion for racing. Despite early challenges in the 2023 season, they're determined to improve and compete at their best. With a series of engine and leadership changes, Ferrari aims to regain its competitive edge and offer fans exciting races in the 23 event calendar. For more such videos, like, share, and subscribe to the channel.